Whew. You know, although I've experienced a lot of snow this winter, I really didn't get a whole lot of me outside in the snow. So I thought I would certainly take this opportunity, seeing that this could quite possibly be the last snow of the season. I wanted to take you guys what we could to territories that I've never been in before. So if you can see me and you can hear me, and if the connection is okay, join me, shall you? How's everyone doing? Can everyone see me? Can everyone hear me? Gotta straighten my hat. I don't see any comments. Does that mean there's no connection? Can you hear me? Can you see me? I'll move. I'll move. Let me move. Head in this direction. See me. Success. How is the quality of the sound and the image? Is it okay? There obviously seems to be quite a bit of delay. All right, well, in that case, let's go exploring. So like I said, okay, we're back. This is gonna be difficult for service self this, and I honestly, I really don't really wanted to go in that direction, and I don't even know what's down there. And that's where I adjust you. So let's try it again, and let's hope for the best here. If it goes out again, come back. I just want to find a nice quiet. That direction is not gonna work. So, here we are. How's the view? The view all right? Yeah, so, something that's been coming up this year is the smell of snow. And, you know, we can make a lot of jokes about this. The smell of snow. If anyone's experienced cherries on ice, I always get confused, cherries on ice or cherries on snow. But I've also noticed a lot of winter candles this year with the fragrance description of snow, wet snow, ice. And it's like, okay, cool. But what does snow smell like? So I figured I'd come out, get some snow. This is good stuff. This is highly compressible snow. I know nothing about snow. God, if it's not snowing where you are, I just wish you could see this. Like, can you see what's behind me? I'm gonna get on the ground. All right. This spot seems to be the most success we're gonna get as far as. Now take a listen. You hear that? Me either. There's nothing. I am isolated. I don't think there's a soul around me for a good amount of distance. And everything, it's been snowing all morning, all night. It's cold enough where everything is just sticking. And this is my favorite kind of snow because it becomes a winter wonderland. The snowflakes coming down actually look like, like snowflakes. Like how we draw snowflakes in grade school. I'm losing you guys. I don't think you're there with me anymore. So I'm gonna smell some snow. And weirdly, snow does. Wow, this video is gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a mess, this video, let me tell you. All right, this is not bad. I think we should hunker underneath these rather large pine trees. These are quite high. So if you don't know what I'm doing, I'm smelling this snow. As I was saying before, maybe there's not a smell to this, but there's certainly a sensation to smelling snow. I'm gonna eat some snow. No jokes now, no jokes. Tastes good, tastes good. And what's good is I'm a little bit dehydrated. A lot of coffee. This is a nice little spot. So what are you folks doing on this snowy day? Now, Nicole, I think I saw you say that there's no snow yet in well, I guess you could call it downstate. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I want to go in that direction, but every time I go in that direction, the service just cuts out completely. But this is nice. Pine trees, snow. I can move the camera around a little bit. Get some visuals of that snow. Just rain. I'm in Dutchess slash Ulster County, which is about 90 miles north of New York City. Nicole, you probably know that. You've heard me say that before. But it's been going all day. I was editing, and Elsa was taking a nap by my side. And I'm like, oh man, I should really go outside, but Elsa was taking a nap. I was in this editing flow. But then I said, this is it. For the season, this is the last time I'm gonna have the opportunity to go out and quite literally play in the snow. Now, I had a lot of plans this year. I wanted to take you guys sledding. Didn't get to do that. Lost some of my footage, as we know. But I also want to do something fun like go ATVing or snowmobiling. I thought that would be adventurous. I don't know about aromatic, but it would be adventurous. But the good news is, I think next year, I've learned so much over this past year that, I know how I'm gonna plan things. Like, I'm already gonna be planning winter activities in like October. And I don't mean Christmas, I mean winter activities in October. It's just it's about being like a season and a half ahead of schedule. And that's where I really messed up this year. I kind of pushed everything off to the last minute, or what I didn't think it was the last minute, but it ended up being the last minute. Taking a break from my taxes. This is much more fun. Thanks for joining, Carol. I mean, come on. You know, how many times have you seen it snowing outside? And you're like, you know, I really wish I'd go outside, but you don't do it. Well, that's what I'm here for. You know, I figured we'd get out, give you guys a chance, spend some time in the snow, and if you can't watch it now, you can watch it later. I hope the image quality is good. I want to let you know that I'm filming this on, this is probably not going to end up being high definition, but this is on the iPhone X or 10, depending on what you want to call it. And for any of you vloggers out there, or you know, if you're contemplating it, you know, becoming a vlogger, instead of buying a really expensive camera, I highly recommend, I mean this, you start off with an iPhone. This iPhone is insane. You know, I can bring it out in the snow now. I can bring it out in the rain now. Remember that video when I was out in the rain? I had no protection on the phone. It was just me, rain. I've dropped this on water to get underwater shots. The image quality is fairly good. I think the one thing I wish is the front-facing camera. It's not high def. It's still high half definition. Or if you switch it to 4K, I think it's high def, but you can't stream in 4K. And the sound, listen to the sound. It's really windy, especially right now. A whole bunch of snow just fell off some trees. And, right, the sound, the audio is not so bad. Look at this. Oh man, look at all of the, can you see that stuff? That residue on the pine cone? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. When I always keep saying sweet pine cone, and it sounds like I'm being super redundant, that's what I mean right there. You gotta go outside, pick off one of these cones, and sniff some of this resin. I don't think you call this pitch or sap. I think you call this, what is this stuff called? Terpene that comes out of the pine cones. It's what makes it very flammable too. But look at these trees. I'm gonna let the snow fall on you for a second. Hope you don't mind. Look at that. Oh man, snow's coming down. The temperature, whoa, I zoomed in. How did I zoom in? I didn't know you could zoom in with the front-facing camera. I just learned something. I really did not, I can zoom in on the front-facing camera? This is insane. How did I not know this? I've had this phone for months. It's cold. I don't know how cold it is, but nothing is wet. So it's gotta be safely below freezing point. You know what I mean? Like nothing's wet and slushy. Everything is still fresh and powdery, and it's been going for hours. But I'll show you some wetness. Get some ice. I just can't go in that direction. I just can't go in that direction. I wanted to show you there's some water happening there. You see that in the distance? That I'm just kind of looking around. I'm near my home base, and you know, these are some of the locations I used to play around when I was young. I lived very, very close to my parents, so I can get to like mountain. So I know a lot of these areas. Some of these areas, like the place I wanted to be out here,
come and take a broom and brush it off when it froze. And it didn't have ice skates, but we could go run and slip and slide on the ice. It's a very nostalgic fact. Yeah, I want to point you guys upwards so you can see the snow. Microphone? Is your phone going in and out? Is that the problem? Maybe I'll go the other direction. Sound check. Check 1. Check 2. Camera speed. How we doing? No good? I sound very far away. I wonder if that's because of the snow. Let me go back to where I was. We didn't make it far. This is exactly where it was. Like it's picking up those things closer to the speaker. You know, after all this time, I've been saying wonderful things about the iPhone. I wonder if I tricked the phone into using a different microphone. Good? Sound good? No, I can't hear me well either. Oh no. Uh, I should sing a song. This is unfortunate because this experience is like really intense for me right now. So it's like I'm really getting, what do you call it? Feel goods? What do you call this? Nostalgia starting to hit stuff. I'm gonna try to reboot. How about now? Sounds very static. It's not a matter of going to where
How about now? Can you hear me now? No? Come on. Somebody say. Okay. So, you guys can hear me. I gotta put new gloves on. Those last ones got really sticky from those pine cones. All right, let's go explore. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, look at this. See, that's somebody's house. I don't want to trespass. But look, can you see how the trees are covered? It's like Narnia. Just gotta get quickly through here. I don't think I'm supposed to be here. Okay. Here we go. All right. Whew. It's deep. The snow, it's getting pretty deep. I don't know. I sound out of breath. I may be a little out of breath. All right, so where were we? What were we even talking about? I can't believe I found these headphones. I am in New York. In like Dulster County? Dutchess, Ulster County? Very close, very, very close. feet away, in fact, from where my folks live and where I grew up. And if you listen closely, I hear some sirens. So we're getting closer to civilization. I hope everyone's okay. But there are a couple houses here. I think we're good. I'm not crazy, man. We got to get out in the snow. We got to smell this stuff. What would you put into a candle to give the illusion of wet snow? Or how would you describe, give me some adjectives of how you would describe the smell of snow. Oh, I was always out in the snow when I was a kid. Yeah, a lot of my videos are shot in Ulster County, Nicole. I kind of gravitate towards New Paltz and the Shawangunk Mountain region. It's where I did the See America collection. It's one of those state parks. And it's close to apple country. Well, Ulster County really is apple country. Fresh. That's a great adjective, but how do we manipulate fresh? I'm serious. For a second, let's just assume we're creating a candle, right? And we need to evoke the idea of snow. What are we going to put in that candle? Menthol, right? Cooling sensation. We breathe that in. We're going to feel that cooling sensation in our lungs. It's going to open our sinuses. And it's great because I always say it brings the outside, the wintry cold, into the warmth of your own home. But what else? The season of peace ingredients. It's a good answer, Carol. Ozone. But what does ozone smell like to you, Rachel? Pine and snow. Yeah, I think that's great because now you're playing off association. Rachel says ozone like rain. Yes, I would agree. But then that begs the question, what does rain smell like? These are the questions that I focus on. These are the things that I think about when I'm trying to fall asleep at night. And, people always ask me, would I ever make a candle? Of course I would make a candle. Would I ever start a candle company? Yeah, I would do that too. But I would only do it if I could really push the envelope, If I couldn't, let's say, for example, if I couldn't express my idea of what snow smells like, it doesn't literally need to smell like snow because this really doesn't smell like anything. It's more the experience of smelling it than an actual aroma. But there's only so many fragrance oils in the world, right? You can't just go up to snow and extract a fragrance oil from this. You need to create it. You need to manipulate it. You need to have someone, a chemical engineer, design the fragrance artificially, synthetically in a lab. And, one of my biggest, pet peeves with candles, and it's not candle companies' fault, is that they just, they can't bring, it's always about essential oils like flowers and trees and woods and citrus and, all fruits. But what about other things that have aromas? You know how much I love the idea of smelling the earth. There was nothing better than on a nice day off when I was living in Napa Valley. Throw some, like food in a backpack, some water, and just get lost in the vineyards. Just go walking. Because out there, they don't care. If they see you strolling around the vineyards and you're not doing anything wrong, they don't mind. Out here on the East Coast, there's posted signs everywhere. If you go on an apple orchard, you might end up shot But out in California, I didn't really have those problems. But the smell of walking around those, I call them dust devils. And there's an area in Napa Valley called Rutherford, and a lot of people can identify a wine that comes from the Rutherford region. They'll use the words, I taste and I smell Rutherford dust. And it sounds silly, and it sounds like that's an impossible thing to actually smell soil in a wine from grapes that grew in that area. But I'm not kidding. Sometimes you would smell this Rutherford dust. And if you were in that area, you would smell these kind of cascading dust devils. Just very much like, Champagne region or the Loire Valley in France or Alsatian wine. They smell the soil is not so much like clay or silt. It's more of like a limestone, chalky soil. Well, guess what? Guess what kind of soil is in those wine regions? Oceanic soils, right? So Champagne, like true Champagne, or like Alsatian Riesling, Gewürztraminer, have very, what I call a high level of minerality. They actually taste like the soil. And naturally coming from the wine region and loving that element of wine having minerality or soil flavors and aromatics, if I were to ever make a candle, I have to figure out a way. How can you get authentic smells of the earth inside of a candle? It's the way it is. There's only so many times I want to smell. Do we have a creature? Oh, I thought we had a little woodland creature over here. We don't, but I thought we did. I can't really scroll through your comments, guys, because I'm wearing gloves. 80 in Orlando. I really like apple in winter garden. Yes, it adds a freshness to the candle without actually making it fruity. Very, very nice call. And I would say kind of going off that, something that I just evaluated, I think it was Merry Mistletoe by Witch City Wicks had that apple thing in it too. So I totally agree with you, Amanda. It's interesting. It's not always what you would think. Sometimes the things that help get us mentally where we need to be for certain associations like snow. Sometimes the ingredients are not so obvious or literal. Am I the only one in snow? Rachel, is it snowing? Did I ask you? Rachel, it should be snowing where Rachel is. And is anybody else, other than work, if you're at work, what are you burning? What are we doing? It's 80 degrees in Los Angeles. This is Eric Peter Carlson. What is Eric Peter Carlson working on? Eric, he's got to be working on some vlog. This guy's putting out these amazing videos, and here I am sitting in the snow, trying to entertain. Sunny in Colorado. It's sunny and 50 degrees in Kansas. It's snowing pretty heavy here in Philly. Oh, all right. Pennsylvania, all right. I was actually going to be in Pennsylvania today, yesterday, and the day before. And I didn't go because of the snow, because I wanted to come back today. But now, in retrospect, I really didn't have to be back today. So we could right now, not that it would be like better than this, but I could actually be, we could be walking around the streets of Scranton right now. Scranton, Pennsylvania. I told you I was going to go. One of these days we'll get there. Zesty Orange, Spice Garland, and Deck the Halls. Orange and green for March. All right. So we got a little bit of mixology happening. A little mixology happening in the living space. I like it. I dig it. I like the fact that you're using colors too to create those associations. I always say burning candles is very much a visual art. Wow, I'm sorry, guys. I'm reading your comments here. Got fresh mint going on with pineapple. Makes pineapple type. Wait. Got fresh mint going with pineapple. Yeah, so we got the mojito effect. Very cool. Am I gonna have Swiss Miss when I go inside? No, I only do that when I'm with you guys. It'll certainly be coffee for me. Although, be honest, if you were in this setting, and Eric, if you're there, Eric Peter Carlson, chime in. If you were in this setting, can you see the snowflakes? Would you not want to watch like Christmas specials right now? That's how much I already miss Christmas. Wait, what did Travis say? Travis said something. Oh, cool. Denver. All right. Yeah, I knew that. Awesome. I got to make it out to Colorado one of these days. I said that about 5 years ago that I was going to go to Colorado, mainly for work. I was going to do some expos, some beer tastings, but you know, it never really panned out. Okay, it's gonna start. Weather says it's gonna start in Boston at 7 p.m. Oh man. Thumbs up, cherry pie, 37. 37 is my lucky number. And just so happens that today is March the 7th, 3-7. See how my mind thinks? 3-7, cherry pie. Good luck. Good luck number. Did Janet just say, where is Shane? Can you guys not see me? Janet, can you not see me? Did you hear that? Did you just hear that? A huge branch off, I think, an apple tree just broke. Is that like a snow? Oh, yeah. There's someone like with one of those snowplow things. What do you call them? I never had them. I had a shovel. That's how I clear snow. I use the shovel. Watch Frozen and burn mistletoe. I like it. In this environment, yeah, we got that alpine madness of that mistletoe, super high concentrated coniferous tree action. I like the way you think, Eric. Watch Frozen and burn mistletoe. But we need something with a little bit of a cooling sensation, right? We gotta bring Elsa's coldness into the living room. So maybe, like what we were talking about before, maybe something like something that has a cooling sensation, like a menthol. If there's a candle, everybody knows cherries on ice, right? Why does that candle smell like ice? What's in it? I'm asking, what's in it? See, I'm just smelling my gloves. I can't get a good sniff off the snow. Can I taste it? Like Yukon Cornelius? There might be some woodland creatures around this parts, but the snow seems to be fresh. I won't lie, I'm kind of worried about my microphone. I hope my microphone is okay. Yeah, there's snowblower. That way. I don't know why. Because I don't think this snow is going to stop anytime soon. I thought I was crazy being outside. Not crazy, but I thought like I was... Like, there's just no sense of being outside right now. At least where I am, you should not be driving there's no point in shoveling because as soon as you shovel, that snow right there is just gonna come falling down and cover your driveway again. There's nothing to do but to just put some coffee or hot cocoa on the stove and wait it out. Okay, Jackie's got something good here. Snow is really just water. I think the smell you get from snow is more maybe what it sits on. Yes, yes, yes. Like a pine scent, for example, or the environment around it. Yes, yes. Thank you for saying this, because I agree completely. I think the magic behind cherries on ice or snow, on ice. I want to call it snow, or cherry. I think it is whatever it's called. I think the magic behind that scent is that it smells. Now hold on. Don't judge me too much. But if you smell that candle, it kind of smells like freezer burn. It smells like the inside of the freezer or that ice tray, those murky ice cubes sitting in your ice tray. So it's that association. We're not really smelling ice. We're smelling something that we associate with ice, which is kind of helping our minds get from point A to point B. So Jackie, I love that. I love you for sharing that. She said like pine. Smelling pine can maybe trigger, you feeling a little bit chilly because guess what? When you're around white pine trees covered in snow, you're usually cold like I am right now. And snow is slowly starting to seep up through my shirt and sadly down my pants. It's okay. It's okay. But it is incredibly cold. I thought I bundled up for good. So Eric says, pretend this was a snow day off from school when we were kids. What would we have for breakfast and what would we have for lunch? So if you guys don't know, Eric Peter Carlson is my brother. He's in Los Angeles. He's a filmmaker. He's also a vlogger, and a quite good one, if I might add. But when we were kids, when we'd have snow days, we didn't want snow days, so we didn't have to go to school. Actually, yeah, we didn't want to go to school. We didn't like school. But having a snow day was a perfect excuse. It was production value. You understand? Like, you see this stuff? This is production value. It's free. So we'd go out and we'd make as many movies as we possibly could. A lot of our movies that we would make took place, and in many cases for absolutely no reason, in tons of snow because, well, when we were kids, we would get tons of snow and we lived around apple orchards. So a lot of our movies took place in apple orchards with lots of snow. And one in particular, and I have to give my brother credit for this moment, monumentous moment in my life. I was never allowed to touch the camera. I was about the story I'm about to tell, I was probably about 5, 6 years old. And we would actually take our father's camcorder out in the snow, which was a terrible idea because, electricity and water, not a good thing. But we were filming a scene. It was down in this direction. It was down by this murky pond. And it was a fight sequence between my brother and one of his friends. And we didn't have a tripod. So my brother gives me my father's camcorder. And I'm like, well, I can't hold the camera. I'm not allowed to hold the camera. He's like, no, just go get coverage of us fighting. And this was the first time, not kidding, first time, well, I guess I'm generalizing a little bit, but the first time I was actually given the camera with a task to get a shot, to get an actual composition, to film a scene. And I'll never forget that moment, and I'll never forget that footage because I took, in my opinion, a completely different approach than I would think most would take. And I took a little bit of a risk. And I enjoyed that risk, and my brother liked it. And I still watch that footage today, and I say that's the first video, cinematic video I've ever taken in my life, was in that moment, down in an apple orchard, in the snow, filming my brother fake fight his friend. This is probably boring the heck out of you guys. I understand. But you have to understand, making movies was a large part of my childhood. It still is a large part of my life. Uh, and yeah, it's kind of funny, you know, it's like my brother, you know, people would always make fun of us for, like, you know, when we were kids, like, grow up. You're making movies. And, you know, it came a point where I wasn't 4, 5, 6 years old anymore. My brother wasn't 10, 11, 12. It was more like he was like, you know, 17 and I was 11, and we're still making movies and people are telling us to grow up. And come to find, all of these years later, guess what we're still doing? My brother spends half his life rather behind computer writing or behind a camera filming. And I've kind of changed and altered my life in a way where I can get back to one of my loves too, which is having a camera in my hand and documenting and sharing experiences, taking you guys along on the journey. And Travis says he made a stop motion animation film at one point. There's so many questions. I have to say, my brother and I, we've attempted that so many times, but we were more of the puppeteers. You know, we would utilize strings and, you know, fishing wire and stuff like that because we didn't really have the technology for stop motion. With camcorders, it was almost impossible to get a fluid motion because every time you hit that record button and stop, you're recording way more frames than you're supposed to. Legos. So Legos were your materials. Heart Queen, how you doing? You didn't get the notification. That's okay. I'm just sitting in the snow, kind of like Jack Torrance style. I'm already starting to get, like, snow is starting to accumulate on my body. And hopefully they won't find me here in a couple days. You know, like Jack Torrance. I know Horror Queen, you get the reference. I'm not sure if everybody else gets it. So Horror Queen, what are you up to? What are you burning? Are you burning a candle? Rachel, The Shining. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. Amanda loves Kubrick. Amanda, did you hear about the traveling Stanley Kubrick show? I missed it every single time. I lived in San Francisco. I lived in Los Angeles. Well, I didn't live there, but I spent a long time in Los Angeles. And I missed it in both locations. Can you believe this? But it's a traveling show of props, personal items, things in Stanley Kubrick's films that he never even made. His kind of epic project that he never got to film, which was based on Napoleon. I don't even know if he had lived to 90, if he'd ever would have gotten it done. But man, I wish I had a chance to see that. And Eric Peter Carlson says it's Sightings of the Invisible Man. That was the name of the film that we made, where I was holding that camera that I was telling you about. Sightings of the Invisible Man. My brother played my father. It's a little disturbing. Wait. No, but I've been babysitting one of the kids of one of his editors. You're babysitting one of Stanley Kubrick's editors' children? That is an awesome story, Amanda. That is quite a statement. I love it. Hey, there's a truck. What is he doing? Whew. Yeah, it's getting colder. The wind's picking up. The snow's falling off the trees. I'm making it sound a whole lot more dramatic than it really is. But I wish that I could find a more dramatic spot. Give me a moment. I think I can do it. My leg is asleep. What's your favorite movie that takes place in the snow? I got two. The Thing and A Simple Plan. There we go. Elsa does like the snow. She'll go out and she's crazy, but her little feet get cold very fast. So, like that's what that's where she draws the line. If her feet get cold, that's when she'll take off. It's a Wonderful Life. Great choice, Lauren. Fargo, Amanda. Good choice. Okay, guys, Fargo or A Simple Plan? My brother and I just had this conversation. Which is the better film? Is anybody on my side if I said A Simple Plan? I'm not saying it's a better film, but is anybody on my side if I were to say that? Oh my God. I'm gonna flip the camera around real quick and I'm gonna try to show you what I'm seeing. If you guys haven't seen A Simple Plan, honestly, whether it's snowing or not, it's going to make it a whole lot more special if it is snowing. Get it, whether it be on iTunes or however you get your media these days. Find it and watch it. It is one of the most engaging films you'll ever see. Directed by Sam Raimi, director of, believe it or not, the Evil Dead films, the first incarnation of the Spider-Man films, which, you know, it is what it is. But he did Darkman. So it was a very strange film for him to make. It was written by Billy Bob Thornton. And Billy Bob was also, he starred in it with Bill Paxton. And I always want to say Jane Fonda, but Bridget Fonda. Such a good movie. Spider-Man, yes. Yeah, you know, it's, I really liked it when Sam Raimi went back to, I mean, say what you will about the film. The movie Drag Me to Hell. I don't know if that word is okay for this channel, but the movie wasn't that bad. Drag Me to Hell, you know, it's like to see him go back to, I don't know, his roots. I don't know if you want to call it his roots. It was really fun. Billy Bob Thornton's great. I mean, I can't speak as a person. I can't really comment on him, but man, I mean, his performance in A Simple Plan, and we could throw in Sling Blade. I mean, insane. But Simple Plan, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. We're about to hit the 1 hour mark. So I'm going to walk a little bit back where I came from. And my nose, it's not really frozen. It's just, I'm afraid of, you know, making sniffle sounds. Seeing since like the microphone is right there, it'd be really gross for you guys. Sling Blade is underrated. Yeah. Is it underrated? I think it's appreciated. I think it is. Maybe to some people it's underrated, but I've always given it the praise I think it deserves. He did write it. And he also wrote another film. We wrote several films, but a film called One False Move, also starring Bill Paxton. And if you haven't seen that film, that's one you have to check out as well. I like the Snow Gilmore Girls episode. I know Gilmore Girls, but which one is that? The Snow. Is that the one where they're like going around Stars Hollow in like in the sleigh, where they're all like in the inn or something? Julie? Whoa. Carol's leaving. Bye-bye, Carol. Thanks for joining us, especially since you're joining us from work. All right, let's get moving. I'm gonna cap this off at just about an hour. I don't know if this was a huge success. I've had a great time talking to you guys. I mean, that's for sure. I really did want to go more on a trek. This guy, he's gotta go back inside. I don't know what he thinks he's trying to accomplish. I sat there while editing and said, what if I went outside and Did you see it? Did you hear it? Did you see it? This just happened. This just happened right before our eyes. Look at this. This thing is like, I'm not kidding. Can you guys get an idea of the scope of this? I just walked underneath this, and about 10 feet away, it fell. This thing weighs well over 100 pounds. Look at this thing. Oh my God. This almost just fell on my head. The dangers of aromatic adventures. That's actually quite frightening. Look. That is a large branch. My head could have been compromised in that moment. But bravery is something I don't lack. You know, I have the courage to brave the storm, to lift the stone, to extend a hand. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is about the area where I'm gonna lose you guys. I gotta cross a little bit of ice, some more snow. I gotta pass a weeping willow, which, by the way, will be starring in my Willow Breeze episode if I ever get around to filming it. And thanks for joining, guys. Thanks for coming out and hanging out in the snow with me. I hope we can do this stuff like this all the time, you know? Like in the summer, will you come boating with me? We'll go on we'll go fishing or something. It'll be weird because it'll just be me alone on a boat, drinking Coca-Cola, fishing. I don't know where I'm gonna get the boat, but it's fun to share these experiences, even if there isn't an agenda. However, I have to say we capped off with a pretty good ending. I want you guys to go back and listen to that sound of that log. It was like a log. It was a branch the size of the Rockefeller Plaza tree crashing. And I just pushed it away. All right, guys. I do love you. Thank you for joining me. I will be seeing you soon. It may not be in the snow, but I guarantee you it will be in a fun place. So thanks for joining. I'm going to take off my glove. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. And check out some of my other videos. That if you haven't checked them out. Let's get some views on these videos that have been out there for a couple days. Or go back in the library, so on and so forth. And if you haven't joined the Facebook group, come on. Join the Facebook group. Bye-bye, guys. We'll see you soon. Oh, boy. Oh, it's snow. It's cold.